everyone, it's Anya here. I'm back with another video for Ophelia Talks, and we are talking about crochet. And this is an absolute beginner course, this series of tutorials. Okay, so if you want to get started on crochet, this is the series to watch. I'm just going to go through things very basic. Okay, so main thing you need is wool, of course. This is just straightforward wool, double knit special by Stylecraft. It's found in a lot of shops in the UK. I've chosen grey because that's what I made my daughter's poncho in, and I've got some left. So this is let's put it like this, a basic yarn that you can do lots and lots of things with, and that I am going to be using for a lot of my projects, just so that, you know, if you have one ball of wool, you'll be able to follow all my tutorials, and you know, we'll see how far we get basically, but it'll show you you know, sort of learn to crochet on one ball of wool. Okay, so let's have a look at this here. What you need to look at is here the size of the needles that you're going to need, and it says here 4mm. Now that is your hook size that you are going to need. Now yes, indeed, 4mm is the best one for this wool, and I would use a 4mm, but as we are learning and you're a beginner, I'm going to say start with a 5mm. Your stitches will be a little bit looser than if you would use a 4mm, but it's all a little bit easier to hold, a little bit easier to see, and a little bit looser knots, looser stitches that will make it easier for you to go back into them. Okay, so yes, go and buy your wool, buy a 4, but also get a 5, because I think it would be it will be better. You will have a bigger success rate with to start off with a 5 than with a 4. And yes, go down to a 4 and go up to a 6 later on, but let's just do a basic kit for now. Okay, so a 5. This is a metal hook, and I suggest using a metal hook. Plastic hooks do not slide as well, and you do need it to slide really well, so that when you're you know, going through and pulling through, your wrist doesn't start hurting. Okay, if you have to pull really hard every single stitch, your wrist will start hurting. It will hurt to start with, it will hurt if you're doing a lot in the beginning, but you'll be able to just rest a bit and then go on, and that will be fine. But if you start feeling pain, that's when you need to think about maybe using a hook with those bigger grips, or a different type of hook where you're holding it differently. So that's you know, one of the considerations you'll have to make. You'll also need scissors. These are my sewing scissors, so they're very good for wool. And a needle. A lot of people use a blunt needle. I use a sharp needle, so you can actually go through wool, and that makes it easier to weave in ends. Now, how do you hold your hook? I've seen people hold it like this. I've seen people do all kinds of things. I've been taught like this. So I hold it like you hold a pen, and I use it like that. Okay, so to start with, for a basic way of holding your hook, let's try and hold it like this. Now, for our wool, you will see on one end, it's a open end like this, and on the other hand, and there's one that goes in, and this is your start. So you pull that out, and that's where your wool starts. And this is, just to be clear, this is the shade 1099. It's grey. This is the dye lot. So if you're doing a project that needs you know, the same color, make sure your dye lot is all the same, so you're sure of the same color. And a lot of people keep these labels. I tend to throw them away. I should be better at that. But what you could do is keep it like this and roll a little bit of yarn round it, wool round it, and then you know which one it is in case you stop that project, or you're not doing it anymore, or you want to you know, know which wool it was that you used for particular kinds of projects, and on the other side you can write what you've made with it. But we're not there yet, we're just going to get started. So we're going to get started by making a slip knot, and you put your end of your yarn over your fingers like this. You twist it around 2 fingers like this, so twice. Then you pull it across and over the first one, pull that across and over, and then the one that's at the back, that's going to be your slip knot. There we go. Okay, so let's do that again. So we've got 2 fingers, roll it round twice, bring the back one over the front one, the back one over the front one, and pick up the back one, remove your fingers and gently pull, and you've got a knot ready to get started. This is your end. You're going to weave that in later on, but we're not going to worry about that for now. We insert our hook and you pull, and it just closes up like that. Don't do it too tight. You need to sort of leave a little bit of space there, a little bit of movement, so you can get going. Now, the easiest thing to do is to hold this in your fingers, because otherwise it's just, at the moment you're working with nothing, so you need some stability. Okay, now another matter before we get started: how do you hold the yarn in your fingers? Because you need to feed the yarn onto your work, but you need a steady flow and an even tension. So this is what I do. You have your yarn, I come in and I pick up the yarn with my pinky like this. Okay, so it comes in from under, over, under, and then I put my index finger like that. And this is how I feed the yarn through my hand. Okay, so pick up pinky, turn, and over your finger. Now I've got a lot of yarn in between there. So holding on to the end here, pick up, feed, like that. Okay. Now what we're going to do, like I said, try to hold on to the edge, to the end here, and you're going to pick up and pull through. Yes, so that is always a little bit difficult because of course you've pulled it too tight, of course. There we go, that's our first chain. So this is how you chain. You insert your hook in your loop that you've made from your slip knot, and you go under, pick up and pull through. That's 2 chains. So 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 chains. Okay, so let's try again. Let's try again. Okay. How to make a slip knot? Insert your hook. Pull it closed, hold on to your end, pick up your yarn and make your chain. So the minute you've got something there to hold on to, you can hold on to that. Okay, so I think that's enough for the first lesson. Let's see how you go at making slip knots, holding your yarn and making chains, and try and build up your speed so that you can quickly make chains to get a project started. Hope you enjoyed this video and thanks for watching. Bye!